This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's number one show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Not sure what happened. Let's start that over. There we go. Yes, losing is what got us here, ladies and gentlemen. What's popping with you, Tony? My brother, how you feeling? Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah. Yeah, it was a quick show, fun show, but a good show. You know what I'm saying? A couple callers and whatnot. A big topic of conversation, ladies and gentlemen, was OG Anunoby. Well, I'm sorry, it was Mo Diawara. We'll talk about him later, but OG Anunoby, you know what I mean, was also a topic of conversation. And a big question. They said they can't hear you, Tony. Now they should be able to hear you. My bad.
Mic check.
Yeah, we all clear now, bro. Yeah, I accidentally had him muted on my side. But a big question is OG Anunoby. So we're gonna jump in and start talking about OG, because this is a good conversation. Is OG Anunoby making a case to be an all-star this year? He's averaging 15.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1.8 steals per game. Now, Tony, we've seen all-stars that have better numbers than this, right? No doubt about it. We've seen all-stars with better numbers than this. What would be the case for OG to be an all-star this year? Through,
Well,
like JJ
case,
is saying, through coaches voting him in. What would be the case for you?
the biggest case would be the Knicks grabbing that number 1 seed in the East. And you know, a lot of times for you to even have 3 all-stars, you got to be the top seed in your conference.
Right.
I can't even think of a time when a team wasn't the top team in the conference and had 3 all-stars. So that's gonna have to be the first domino to fall, right?
Okay.
And then you gotta pick that third guy on the team. You know what I mean? I think there's a fair argument for everybody as far as like Bridges, Hart, and OG. The biggest stat is it may not be something that's on the stat sheet, you know what I mean? Or the biggest thing may not be something that you see on the stat sheet. You mentioned his impact, you know what I mean, but behind the scenes, and then his defense, his two-way ability. The funny thing about that is nobody really wants to see defense in the All-Star game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's
right,
almost
right,
frowned
right,
upon.
right.
So like that's where it gets tricky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely where it gets tricky. I think OG's, the impact that he's having on the game, right? You know, not just his defense, but I think timing, when he's getting buckets, when he's getting stops. You know what I mean? And for me right now, I kind of feel like it separates him from Bridges. And I know that's a constant argument, right? A constant battle right now internally with Knicks fans. OG or Bridges, who would be that third all-star. And right now I'm saying OG because I feel like he's having more of an impact towards the end of games. You know what I mean? I also feel like even though he may not be averaging 18 to 20 points, the timing in which he scores, right? The way that he scores, I think he takes the one-on-one offensive load away from Brunson and Cat a little bit sometimes. Because there are moments when, like, okay, Bridges for the most part is going to, catch the ball, and be in a catch and shoot situation, maybe cutting to the basket. He'll have a couple of shots that he creates for himself, but most of the time it's somebody else kind of setting it up for him.
Yeah,
We're
OG.
seeing more
Yeah,
and more this year that OG is creating his own shot. You know what I mean? And I think that is what, to me, is putting him above Bridges in the running, right? If those two are in the running. Now, he's not going to be voted in as a starter. We know that. But I do think there's a chance that he'd be, I definitely think there's a chance that he would be voted in by the coaches. You know what I mean? What do you think about that? The timing of his play.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair and accurate. Big stops, big buckets, big steals and breakaway layups. Those things that he tends to do, and to your point, tends to do it, in crucial moments or at the end of the game to close out games. I think that's fair and accurate. I think it's honestly like just I know this is OG, but I think it's gonna be tough to pick the third guy. You know what I mean? I think there's really an argument for every single one of them. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
um, if he could bring that scoring up, by in the next couple of weeks, I think that could help him.
You think you think he has to bring the scoring up?
I do. I do. I think I don't think he has to, but I'm saying to separate himself from his teammates, he has to.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
talking about the field. I'm talking about just from the teammate
Just
standpoint.
from the teammate standpoint.
Like if it was if he's not competing against his teammates, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would talk about impact. I would talk about you know end the game situations, big moments and hitting big threes. I would talk about those things, but when you talk about impact, I think you could make that argument for Hart. I think you make a different argument for Bridges. I think with Bridges it would be about consistency. You know what I mean? It would be about not missing time. It would be about what I mean? Like so, but I think you got an argument for every single one of these guys. And I feel like right now, when we just talk about the Knicks having a third all-star, he's competing with his teammates. You know what I'm saying?
He's and I know I got stuff going all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. He's he's competing with his teammates for us, right? So we're arguing about who would it be, but I don't know if the coaching staff would be arguing about who it might be. Not the coaching staff,
The,
coaches
the,
from
co-
other
the
teams. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
it would be interesting to you know what I mean, like be a fly on the wall and hear who people who the coaches would view.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some of it is I think the coaches is great because they get to play they get to watch these guys and compete against their team, and so they can really speak to the impact. Who who hurt us the most? Who's the guy? You know what I mean? Like who's the guy that's third on our scouting report night in and night out? And if you're talking that, do you think that would be? You think OG would be the third guy on the opposing team's scouting report?
It's a good question. It's a good question. Uh,
I mean,
I
he could be.
I feel like
His- but
if we're talking about who to watch out for towards the end of the game and who can create a shot, who can, I think maybe, because like right now OG is literally the only guy in my opinion, big guy, I guess, Brunson I guess can do it, but that can really like bully himself to the basket. You know what I'm saying? And get himself to the line in that way. I think he's the only guy that can do it on this team right now. Because Cat really doesn't do that. You know what I mean? Cat's going to get you on the elbow and, go to the basket. If the guys are a lot smaller than him, then yeah, maybe he'll bully himself. He'll become a bully a little bit. But I mean, we saw OG doing it with Zion last night, right? And Zion is as big and as strong as they come.
and especially in that first half, Zion didn't want no parts of OG defensively either. You know what I mean? Like he was guarding Zion great in that first half.
Right.
To the point where Zion, when he went on his run, he was trying to get anybody but OG on him. You know what I mean? Any switch he could get, I'll take that one. I prefer this. You know what I mean? Like, it was consistent. Like he was not trying to face OG's defense.
Okay. Jason Benjamin, thank you for the super chat as always. He said, not to sound negative, but OG doesn't have all-star numbers. So we love him, but to me, he's a top-tier role player. He's not consistent enough on offense. What do you say to that, Tony?
If we're talking about why, if we're making a case for him not to be, I would agree with the consistency on offense. I would agree with that. But it's like Mike Brown keeps saying, it's up to OG.
It's true.
And like what you're saying, like, because he just has to put that mindset in. I'm gonna dominate. I'm gonna be on bully time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna impose my will. He does it in spurts. You know what I mean? Every now and again, he'll do it for the game.
Right.
But it's not like it's he has lapses. And I'm not talking about missing shots, like, because everybody misses shots. He just has lapses where and it might not even be him, or it may be him not demanding the ball. You know what I mean? But it might just be the way the offense is going that game.
Right.
I haven't deep dived enough to say,
Right.
his slow offensive games are because he's not aggressive. Because I think this year has been the most aggressive I've seen him. You know what I mean? Like attacking the rim, like dunk attempts. He probably has more already this year than you know what I mean, all of last year.
Right. Yeah.
So he's finding his groove. He's earning his way towards that for sure. Got to keep it up though. And like Mike Brown said, you got to, you know what I mean? It's up to him.
And
he got to want it.
And to be fair, he's averaging less
attempts,
just less points overall since last. Well, he's playing less minutes, playing 32 minutes a game. About one, a little more than one less shot attempt per game. He's averaging less points. Last year he averaged 18. This season he's averaging 15.5. He shot 45% from the field this year. He's shooting 45% from the field this year. He shot 47.6 last year. He's shooting 36% from three this year. He shot 37.2% last year. He's averaging more rebounds this year by a little bit. More steals by a little bit. And for some reason, I feel like he still has a bigger impact on the game this year than last year. I just feel like it's the timing of when he makes plays. You know what I'm saying? And I do think that means something. You know, Jamrock makes a good point. He said, I don't see coaches picking OG over Jalen Johnson if ATL gets into the top 8 of the Eastern Conference. Scotty Barnes will be a shout. Brandon Ingram will be a shout.
And that's
Yeah.
what I was telling you about
Yeah.
the guys above him in the voting right now.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It'll definitely be tough to make it over those guys. One of those guys
Either
could be a starter,
that's true.
could be voted in as a starter, right? You know what I mean? Which could leave some room for OG.
Who out of those who he mentioned?
Johnson, Ingram, Scotty Barnes.
If which one of those guys being a starter do you think helps OG the most? Helps OG shot the most?
It's a good question.
And you
Helps
could put
OG shot.
Siakam on that list
You
too,
can put
but
Siakam
Indiana's
out there, but
probably
Indiana, yeah,
a long shot because of their record.
right. On this list right here, Jalen Johnson, Scotty Barnes, and Brandon Ingram.
Considering, well, two of them are on the same team,
Two on the same team.
so yeah, and those, and you would assume,
I would have, Brandon Ingram's got the name. He might, I don't know where he is in the voting right now, but he could be voted in as a starter because he has a little bit more of a name. And if he's voted in as a starter, this
yeah,
might,
that should take Barnes off the table,
that
right?
might take Barnes off. Yeah,
Do they deserve two? You know
right.
what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
that's a that's a good
Yeah,
point.
you know what I mean.
I was gonna say Jalen Johnson, but I think
But does ATL
if
deserve two? If Trey
if
Young makes it,
and he may not make
Trey
it.
Young might not. He might not be able to make. I
Like,
don't know how
I
many
mean,
games
he's
he's
been
played.
snubbed most of his time in the
Yeah,
league, and this year is definitely a down year
yeah,
for him.
yeah.
So my thing is, if ATL falls and they out of the top 8, maybe neither one of them get it. So I'm going with what you said. If Ingram gets it, it takes Barnes off the table. If Atlanta is not exceeding expectation,
Mm-hmm.
then they may not even get an all-star, and that opens the door. Oh, Jaylen Brown will start. Yeah,
That
I can
could.
see
Yeah,
that.
I can see
They're
that. I
exceeding
can see
they're
that.
exceeding expectation
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, and he's known. Yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
and Boston fans. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I can see that.
yeah. Now, if someone drops out, he could get in, right? Like Giannis or somebody drops out. Giannis, despite their record, Giannis is going to get in. We know that. He'll be voted into to be a starter. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
And did they say they're doing the world? Is they changing it all-star this year?
Is it this year? It might be this year.
They're doing like the world versus the
Yeah, something
US?
like that. I'm tired of them changing it up.
Yeah,
For real.
you gotta find something.
Like,
It's
come
like
on,
Mike Brown changing the rotation, man. Trying to find things that work.
that's what they're doing. They're just trying to, continuously trying to find things that work. Nothing works if they're not playing hard. Nothing's gonna work.
So and that's what I was saying when I was looking at the I was telling you how we got all 5 of our starters are in the top 20 in all-star voting. OG probably has the toughest role, the toughest path because of those names of guys in front of him. You know what I mean? It was like 4 or 5 people at his potentially at his position. Now, the good thing about him is he could play the 3, he could play the 4. he's slotted at the 4 as a starter. You know what I mean? So
Right.
maybe that helps him.
Yeah. We'll see.
But
We'll see.
I love the fact that the coaches out there speaking it into
Yeah.
existence. And,
I love it. I love it.
and,
I love that
and
he's
if
doing
you
that.
know if I feel like he helped Brunson in that matter, push pointing out that he should be in them MVP conversations. Hopefully, it has that same result. You know what I mean? Hopefully, people start acknowledging. Hopefully, some coaches start hearing. Coaches is a tight circle, so they hear what the other coaches are saying and things of that nature. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to see. You know what I'm saying? What did you we were reading earlier about the Knicks players being in the top 20.
let's see if I got it still up. Yep. Did it go away? Okay, I got it. So we got oh, I did the same thing before Western Conference. All right, so Brunson, you got Giannis in the lead, number one vote getter. Then Maxi. You got Brunson third, Kate Cunningham fourth, Donovan Mitchell fifth, Jalen Brown sixth, Carl Anthony Towns seven, Jalen Johnson eight, Pascal Siakam nine, Michael Porter Jr. 10, LaMelo Ball 11, Brandon Ingram 12, OG 13.
Right
So he's
behind him.
third amongst the Knicks.
He's third. Okay.
Uh,
So OG is third amongst the Knicks. Amongst the Knicks players.
but
What is
you
he
know,
amongst the other people at his position?
so you got Ingram in front of him. You got Michael Porter Jr. in front of him. You got
Mm.
Pascal Siakam in front of him. You got Jalen Johnson in front of him. You got Jalen Brown in front of him.
Okay,
And
so
Giannis at the four,
I would
obviously.
take
But
Michael Porter Jr. out of there.
yeah, I'll take him out of there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would take Siakam out of there just because of their
Just
record.
because of their record.
I think Jalen Brown starts. Him and Giannis, I would think starts right at the 3 and the 4. Um, I take we said we taking Michael Porter out. So now it's Brandon Ingram, Jalen Johnson.
There's a chance.
It is a
There's a
chance. It is.
chance. There's a
It is a
chance.
chance.
There's a chance there.
I
There's a
mean,
chance.
but when you do that, there's a chance for 4 people. Because after that, 14 is Josh Giddey, 15 is Mikal, 16 is Josh Hart. So Josh Hart, Mikal, you would probably slot both of them at the 2 slot as opposed to one of them at the 3.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're talking about 2 guards or just guards in front of them, it's Donovan Mitchell, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson, and Maxey.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
you know what I mean, if Brunson and Cade start at the 1-2, there's a chance. You know what I mean? I don't think Mikal goes over Donovan Mitchell. How many reserves at each position are there? 2 or 1?
I'm not sure. So Jamrock is saying isn't the format positionless this year?
Oh. If it is, you would think most of the top vote getters are gonna get in compared to it may be because of if they're switching that format to the world versus
Right.
it may be.
Format. Let's see. All right. The format. The National Basketball and the National Basketball Players Association today, not today, this was November 11th, announced the new U.S. versus World format for the 2026 NBA All-Star Game, which will be on Peacock Sunday, February 15th at 5 p.m. In the 2026 NBA All-Star Game, 2 teams of U.S. players and 1 team of international players known as the World Team will compete in a round-robin tournament featuring 4 12-minute games. The 3 teams will each have a minimum of 8 players.
So 16 Americans.
Okay. As
So
in the
now we gotta
past,
take the Americans out. I mean, take the non-Americans out.
right? So so when you look at it that way, OG's an international player, right?
Is he considered an international player? I don't know.
I mean, he's not from the U.S. I know he went to college in the U.S., but he's not from the U.S. I don't
mean,
know.
hey, if it could get him in, if he can find a loophole, you know what I mean?
Word.
You know, PROs
Find a loophole to get him in there.
You know how to find them loopholes.
So it says, as in the past, 24 NBA All-Stars, 12 from each conference, will be selected as follows. The 5 players honored as starters from each conference will be selected by the fans, 50% of the vote. Current NBA players, 25%, and media panel, 25%. And the 7 players honored as reserves from each conference will be selected by NBA head coaches. This year, the All-Stars will be selected without regard to position. The process for assigning players to the U.S. teams will be determined at a later date. If NBA All-Star voting does not result in the selection of 16 U.S. players and 8 international players, which can include American players with ties to other countries if necessary, then NBA Commissioner Adam Silver will select additional All-Stars to join either group to reach that minimum. In that case, at least one team would have more than 8 players. So,
hey, you know what? Maybe he gets in on a loophole somehow.
Maybe.
But eight international players, that's not hard to find. Like the top, you know what I mean? Like
right.
the top, you know what I mean? Like you could argue the top 5 players is international players over the, you know what I mean? At least the last MVPs.
Yeah. So, hey,
man.
OG.
That
I mean, but I think this increases his chances of getting in.
I agree.
Because he's an international player, I think it increases his chances. It might lower the chances of another Nick getting in, though. Right? Now, let me see. What other international? I mean, there's so many international players.
But the top ones, Luka, Shea, Luka, Jokic, Giannis, Embiid. That's 5 right there.
That's 5. Right off the bat. Is RJ an international player? It's international, right? It's Canada.
Yeah, I don't think he meets the game threshold. He missed a lot of games.
Oh, he missed a lot of games, yeah.
Who we got after that? SGA, Giannis, Jokic, Luka, Embiid. That's the top 5. I mean,
does Embiid meet the?
Oh yeah, he probably might not even meet.
He might not meet
either.
And look at Jamrock. Doesn't Cat play for the Dominican Republic?
He does.
He might meet. He could. I mean, he was born in the U.S., but he could meet that.
He could. It said ties.
Ties. It said ties, right?
Too.
They could be ties too.
And that being said, that'd be dope.
So
put Cat and OG on the world team.
On the world team, wow.
You know what I mean? And then we get 4 All-Stars.
You know what I'm saying? And Brunson and Bridges or Hart on the U.S. team, but now that it's positionless, changes a lot.
It does.
Changes a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll see.
So,
That's that makes it interesting. Might be some new faces there. OG might get in.
so
OG might get
being
in.
that it's positionless, is it also it has to be conferenceless too? It shouldn't be
Yeah.
like they still making you vote East and West.
East and West.
That shouldn't be the case,
Shouldn't be. Right.
right?
Right.
Like they ain't figured that part out
Yeah.
because
So you
you shouldn't
still,
be voting East and West. You should be voting on All Star Team A, All Star Team B, and World Team.
I still think they should just pick the all stars and name only. The way they do all NBA,
Mhm.
right? Just pick it in name only, and then have some other kind of game at the All Star game instead of an All Star game. Because the All Star
What
game
do
is
you
not,
what's a bigger accomplishment, All Star team or NBA team?
all NBA. I still think that's a bigger accomplishment without a doubt.
Because it's weird because you got people that made all NBA and didn't make the All Star team,
Yeah, I think. Well, you
which
got people that
that
make
should never
all
be the
NBA
case, right?
defense. You got people that make all NBA defense. Or whatever. They might not make the All Star team.
Well, no, I meant like just
Who
all NBA, like first team, second team,
who
third
who
team.
did who did that?
I
Made
forget,
all
but I think
NBA
it
but didn't
happened
make the
twice.
All Star team
I think
because
it happened twice.
because it could be that person maybe didn't play
Turned it
enough
up
games to make the All Star team at the time, but still made enough games to make All NBA.
or turned
Who
it up,
knows? Or yeah. I mean, yeah.
uh,
All NBA though is definitely, in my opinion, more prestigious than All Star. That's the top 15 players in the NBA, supposedly, right?
yeah, shout out to the chat. They saying that Denny Avia,
Yeah.
who is having a All
All
Star
Star type
caliber,
season.
yeah.
And what about the
But
dude
it's
from
in Portland.
Orlando?
From Carroll,
Nah,
Wagner,
Wagner. Yeah.
he might
Now he's injured. I don't know. I don't know how
is he back?
severe his injury is. I'm not sure. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Let's do a little bit of Losers Lounge, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll get back and talk some more Knicks. And we might as well transition to the Losers Lounge with Karl Anthony Towns, right? T Smith 2899 said, "Be for real though, Towns flops more than LeBron. Gets every call. He gets every call he wants. If Trey just drives, he would draw a foul. Instead, he keeps pulling up and making stupid passes." I mean, I don't know if Cat flops really.
And he definitely don't get every call.
He definitely doesn't get every call, but I don't really see Cat flop. Do you? Jay
No.
Brunson does. I don't know how much I see Cat flop.
I think he flails. Is that the word I'm looking at?
Flails, yeah.
But doesn't flop.
Yeah, I don't think he flops. He whines. As a matter of
He
fact,
definitely whines.
watching the game last night when he was complaining to someone, I seen one of the Pelicans fans sitting back there going going like that. You know what I'm saying? As he was whining. He definitely whines. You know what I mean? Definitely whines. I'm listen, I'm a supporter of Cat, but I've also been someone who criticizes him. You know what I'm saying? But he's I got to give it to him. He's just playing his role. You know what I mean? He's gonna have nights where he's not playing at an All NBA level, but he plays his role and he's doing other things. He's getting better defensively. And recently he's been showing up when it matters. hitting buckets when you need him to. He still bothers me. He still makes me mad. You know what I'm saying? But I got to give it to him. He's playing his role. He's not playing selfishly. You know what I'm saying? He's doing what's asked of him. And, to the highest
He's
level he
another
can.
one attacking the rim, like I said with OG, more than I seen last year. Like attacking with and dunking, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. The only thing about Cat, he doesn't have a lot of lift. You know what I'm saying? But that's just genetics. But
good thing he's 7 foot, right? Because he don't have a lot of it.
right.
But he actually dunks on somebody. I'd be surprised. I ain't even gonna fret.
Yeah. Nah, I can't be mad with Cat right now. That's for sure. Let's see what we want to get to. Complex Crane said, "Man, y'all know if that was Brunson creating that contact like Poole, then on the last shot he's going to the line. Now Brunson does flop. You know what I mean? He flops a little bit. Brunson is just smart though. You know what I mean? He figures, he flails too. Does a great job flailing. Now, some things that he does, sometimes he's searching for that foul. You know what I mean? I think he missed a layup last night looking for the foul. Trying to throw his body into the player. And he missed the layup because of that. That makes me mad sometimes still when he does that. You know what I mean? But Brunson is a foul master. He finds a way to get to the line no matter what. There's no doubt about it. Alex Valero, 144. Absolutely bring Zion back in the game with 4 minutes to go and then doesn't put the ball in his hands. What a waste of talent, yet gives it to him with 1 minute to go. Wow, sounds like a criticism of the coach. You know what I mean? Listen, Zion is Zion. He's a great talent. It's, when you're in and out of the lineup, I don't know how many games Zion's played this year, right? But when you're in and out of the lineup, the way that Zion is, how do you not start to depend on other guys more than Zion? You know what I mean? And you get into a habit, you get into a role of, I'm going to let this guy rock. Because Zion's, he's not always there. I'm so happy that we did not end up with Zion Williamson. For real. Maybe it would have been different if he was in New York. I don't know, but.
Maybe, but if not, it would have been Nick's luck, right? We get the number 1 pick and go through with what the Pelicans has gone through with him.
When you look back at it, and I've seen a lot of people say it, between those 3 players, Zion, John Morant, and RJ, RJ's not the most talented, but
he was the safest pick, right?
Yeah.
And you may not have known what that meant when you said it back then.
Yeah.
You say he's the safest pick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it makes a lot of sense now. Seeing what those two going through.
I'm telling you, and he's turned out to be the best player of the 3, just because of availability. You know what I mean? Just because of availability, character, turned out to be the best of the 3. You know what I mean? You don't hear RJ and all kinds of crazy, wild things happening, porn stars and guns.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
It was that
what's
one
happening?
rumor, but it kind of got,
Yeah. It was that little dust up thing right there.
I was like, yo, I'm glad that happened after he got traded.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Little thing right there, but for the most part, it's been cool. With John Morant and Zion has been porn stars and guns. Like, is this the NBA or is this some kind of crazy movie. Like, you know, what's happening?
They said they said they should team up together and call them Guns and Buns.
Yo, that's crazy.
Guns and
Yo, that's
Buns.
hilarious. Guns and Buns. Some team will do it just because of their talent too. You know what I mean? You know, somebody will do it. That's crazy. Guns and Buns. Yo, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Mike Kaufman said, "Poole is such a loser."
Well, welcome to the Losers Lounge.
Word. Welcome to the Losers Lounge. You know, Jordan Poole, I don't know, he can't find a home, man. You know, he was in Golden State, Washington. You know, I guess he never elevated to that role where people. I don't know. Maybe there's something with his character. I don't know.
I think it's part of his character. It's part of it. I also think the Draymond situation followed him, and it's a tough thing to get over mentally, as an individual, and then it's even tougher in this day and age because he hears that every day in the stands from the fans, like everybody got something to say.
Something to say. Yeah.
I thought the best thing that would have been for him if had he never left Golden State, had they never moved on from him, I thought he could have become something special there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's really hard to bounce back from certain situations.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
especially when it deals with toughness. You know what I mean? And mental toughness.
Right. You know, trap music said, "I will take Poole off the bench." You know, it all depends on what his character is like. You know, this regime is high on good character players. You know, they don't want any kind of drama. You know what I mean? They want to be able to just go play ball without any issues. You know what I mean? And I don't know enough about his background and everything to say whether or not he'd be a character issue. We do have a lot of leaders on the team, but you know, one player can come in and mess up everything.
Yeah, I would. I think this team is too strongly rooted for a bad apple to spoil the bunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would take him off the bench in a heartbeat. Like,
Okay.
You talk about how excited I was to get Clarkson. Like, if it was Poole instead of Clarkson, and it's only because his skill set. You know what I mean? Like, you talk about a ball handler, he can handle. He would have to sharpen his game. You know what I mean? Like, because I think he's a microwave scorer, but for him to be his best, he has to be a play. He has to learn to be a playmaker. He has to learn to make the right reads. You know what I mean? And I think to go to State, it was more like green light. Like you're that skilled, and we got enough discipline around you,
right,
to kind of let you be the wild horse, the wild guy.
Yeah. Mike Kaufman said, "These guys can be so dumb. Zion clearly can't be stopped. Then they stop passing him the ball." This goes back to, you know, his earlier comment. You know, I mean, you know, Zion. You know, listen, it's true. Zion is a crazy talent. You know what I mean? But I'm not impressed by him anymore. Not impressed by him anymore. You know, yeah. Last one here. Oh, go ahead. You was about to say something.
Nah, I was just gonna say I think him at the weight he's at now, if he could sustain that, now it's just about is he mentally sharp enough? Because I think the skill set hasn't disappeared. I do think, at times he was looking unstoppable, unguardable out there. Especially when it wasn't OG on him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially when I mean, OG. Listen, OG can just defend almost anybody, man. You know what I mean? And he's stronger than he's not as big as Zion, but he's just as strong as it seems like. You know what I mean? He's not afraid to play with his body. It's just funny, you know what I'm saying? He can play so aggressive and strong, powerful, and then he gets on the mic and you listen to him, you're like, oh. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. Alex Valero said to close out the game, the ball has to be in Zion's hands, no question. They can't stop him. It's an easy 2 or a foul if they double. He is a willing passer. We've got the ball in Queen's hands, Poole's hands, or Trey's hands. Doesn't make sense. New York has the ball in Brunson's hands. Well,
That should be.
you know, we're a smart team. A little bit smarter than you guys probably right now. You know. Jason Benjamin said, just give me, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Just give me Jones or Murphy, even though unlikely. I still would take Sadiq Bey. I think he fits this team good. And he's from Villanova. And he went to the same high school as Josh Hart. He was in the 8th grade, though, at the time. I would still take Sadiq Bey. You know what I mean? I like the way he would fit with this team.
I'd pick Murphy over him.
Okay.
You know, 6'9", 6'10", defensive versatility, shoot the ball. But I like Sadiq Bey, and like you said, he looked like he was auditioning.
You know what I'm saying? How many people expected a Sadiq Bey and Kumo D shoot off in the first quarter yesterday? 0.
Beautiful thing to watch, though.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. You know what I'm saying? It was,
came out, scored the first 5 points.
Yeah, it's great to see Diawara's confidence grow. Like right before our eyes, he's just everything about him is growing. You know what I mean? He's just becoming. You know, he's not afraid to ball. He's not afraid to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You know, what can you say? He's just it's a pleasure to see, and kudos to Mike Brown for it. You know, because he's doing little things. I was saying last night, Mike Brown is doing little things. You know, and I think maybe you mentioned this to me, but little things like giving players like Diawara, like McCullough, defensive player of the game, right? When it easily could have went to someone with more prestige, right? But when you give it to a guy like that, it might mean a little bit more to them. You know what I'm saying? Because it lets them know, yeah, you were a contributor to this game. You know, maybe you didn't score a bunch of points, this or that, but you were a contributor to the game. And listen, this guy may not play that much after that game or whatever it is. But that keeps him engaged, right? It's not just the stay ready. You know what I mean? It now keeps them like, okay, you know what? I got defensive player of the game. You know, I'm on my way. I'm making moves. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing something. You know what I mean? And I think that's big. I think that's huge. And kudos to Mike Brown for that because, you know, he's created that. You know what I'm saying? And I think the players really, really enjoy it. And it's paying off. You know what I mean? Do you see long-term playing time for Kumo D? That's what we calling him.
Kumo D. It's uphill battle, but he's on it. Like he already broke that first barrier, right? You know what I mean? He produced in the minutes he was given.
Right.
It's really about now how much he continues to grow, how much he continues to show. But Mike Brown, he clearly sees what he's doing. He talks about it in the post game. You know what I mean? Like he identifies his positives. I think there's a chance because he has the skills, he has the size and the skill set. It just has to continue to mature. But even the growth from game the first time we seen him to now
First
is
time, yeah,
evident.
yeah,
You,
because
you know what I mean? So he's definitely growing at a rapid pace. You know what I mean? Like I would have never thought we seen an impact game like we saw this
right,
early
right,
in the year,
right.
or even this year, to be
Even
honest. You
this
know what I
year,
mean? Like
yeah,
so that to have that and look confident in it, and the team is obviously they seen him do this in practice. You know what I mean? Because they're not hesitating to give him the open shot if he's
right,
open. You know what I mean? Find him when he's open.
right,
Find him cutting the lane. You know what I mean? Let him bring the ball up at times. So he got all the tools to do it. Like to me, that's why the mentors I had him under OG, because to me now well, not right now, but it's about what he wants to do
hmm,
because he has the skill set.
yeah. You know, I mean, he's I mean, I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? You know, Mike Brown is, just what Mike Brown is doing with guys like Muhammad Diawara. And he's a rookie. He's 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? It's just great to see. It's great to see. I think that he will continue to grow because there's no reason right now for Mike Brown to not play him. Right? Especially with Josh Hart out the game. You know what I'm saying? Cool Mo D is, after having a performance like last night, how do you take him out the lineup? Now, will he stay in the lineup when Josh Hart? Because he fits something that we need,
Mm-hmm.
right? So will he stay in that lineup when Josh Hart is back? Because he definitely fits something we need. It's like we need a player his size. He's not going to score 18 points per game. We know that, right? But maybe he gives you 10. He can run on the break. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, his defense allows you to be a little bit more creative. His length, allows you to be a little bit more creative defensively. You know what I mean? In the way that you use zones, or the certain type of zones that you might play if you want to use zones.
I think I heard. I think it was Spree that called last night that said this. Or and forgive me, it may have been you or maybe the dialogue between the two of you. But the way he occupies space on the defensive end, you know what I mean? Like he covers so much ground on the defensive end. I think Shutter was talking about it as well. Like, like that's a skill that you can't just teach. That number one, because he has the length to do it, but you don't see most guys defend the way he does.
Right.
Arms out, knees, you know what I mean, knees bent, and covering using all of that wingspan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to block views, to get in passing lanes. Like,
Yeah. And the thing about him, because he's young, he's impressionable,
mm-hmm.
right? And he wants to do what Mike Brown is asking of him. Right? Because he's like, hey, the more I do what coach is asking, the more I'm gonna play. The more I'm gonna get my chance. You know what I mean? And what he's 20. He started playing basketball at 16. You know,
4 years.
let me ask you, would you bring in, and I'm not even talking money, just in theory, would you bring in Siakam as kind of a guy that he can model himself after, since they've taken a very similar route to the NBA. And when they started playing ball and their size, all of that.
To be honest, I wouldn't, because I feel like it would be a great person to grow to model yourself after. But this is what I'm saying. If let's say hypothetically we had Siakam and he was starting, then I would say yes. If we acquired Siakam and he's coming off the bench and he's pushing Mo down the depth chart, I would say no.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But that don't mean, hey, OG, you got Siakam number, right? Like I would have him go work with him. You know what I mean? Go pick his brain. But as of right now, I would use OG in that spot. You know what I mean? OG may not be able to give him the full development playbook offensively, but he could tighten him up defensively. You know what I mean? And give him those pointers. And to me, that's how he stays on the court anyway. As right now, you know what I mean? As a young player, you become a young defender, you're gonna get minutes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. How much do you think recently he's earned? What do you want to say? Has he earned his spot? Like, he's on the squad. You know what I'm saying? Has he earned his spot? Well, there's no question. He's here. He's in the future.
Oh yeah, he's 100%. You know what I mean?
He's safe.
I mean, not saying he wouldn't get traded. You know what I mean? Because the more he shows, the more he gets looked at as an asset. You know what I mean? It may not be a first round pick, but someone may look at him as first round pick talent. You know what I mean? Someone may look at him as somebody that I wouldn't get in the draft right now. I'm just speaking hypothetically. I'm not saying there's not people better than him in the draft.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? They may look at him as value, like as just as valuable as a draft pick, maybe more valuable because of experience already.
Right. Jason Benjamin said Mo being drafted in the second round was a masterclass by Leon, not Dion. He adds an element we need in length, youth, and athleticism. Crazy upside, in my opinion. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Crazy upside for the kid. You know what I mean? Yeah, Leon Rose did an excellent job snatching this guy up.
You see the Kerry Cox comment?
Nah, what'd he say?
It's right above the super chat. But basically, he would put Carmelo.
Let Melo groom him.
Now that I can see. Give him a little jab step. You know what I mean?
Okay, I can see him adding that. Trying to add that to it. Help bringing in Melo to work with him, not on the team.
Yeah.
Not on the team. I've seen a few times that Melo's talking about trying to make a comeback.
He capping.
Huh?
He capping. He ain't coming back.
Yeah, he ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying?
I did see him speak on why he didn't come to the Knicks though.
Why? What did he say? I didn't see that. What did he say?
Basically, and basically they was trying to bring him in the same vein of Shamet and Brogdon, non-guaranteed, non-guaranteed minutes. You know what I mean? Non-guaranteed role. And he was like, nah.
He ain't want to work that hard for it. At this point in his career, he wasn't trying to work that hard for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the optics of being able to be waived.
Yeah.
You know
the optics of being Melo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And being in that position.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. I understand that.
I was telling Shuttle yesterday um that Mo reminds me of a mixture of Siakam and the Matrix, Shawn Marion.
Mm. Hmm. I didn't think about Sean, man. Okay.
It's a throwback,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. Like, he definitely gives me Shawn Marion vibes,
Yeah. Okay.
especially on the defensive end.
Okay. Kerry Cox said, have Carmelo give him defensive pointers and work on his offensive moves. How about we stick to the offense?
Yeah,
How about we just stick to the offense? Let Melo, work with that jab, step, and pull up. I don't know about the defensive side.
only defense I see Melo do effectively was that the way he used to block shots under the rim.
Yeah, them little blocks, some little pop up blocks.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, get that shit out of here.
Word.
I used to be like, yo, one of these days he's gonna miss and smack the shit out of somebody.
You know what I'm saying? Word. That's crazy. Jason, thank you for the super chat again. He said, aren't we gonna have a first and second round picks in this draft?
We might have two firsts, or we might have 2 seconds.
Yeah, we'll see.
Depending on that Washington pick.
Yeah, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens with Washington and all of that. You know. But Kumo D in the building doing his thing, man. You gotta love it. Gotta love it.
He's definitely becoming one of my one of my favorite low-key players.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Oh, I think that's it for the night. Tony, you got anything else?
Nah, man, good show. You know what I mean? Let's keep these losers down coming. Keep these wins coming.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Let's end the year off right.
For real.
Start the new year off right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, tomorrow, I will watch the game, but I won't be doing a show tomorrow night. I won't do the show until Thursday. So, I got some, got some family plans going on tomorrow night, so I won't be doing a show tomorrow night. You know what I mean? But we'll make it up on Thursday. We'll make it up on Thursday.
Marcus Miller.
Shout out to the Lovers Lounge.
Oh man. Well, I'll catch up with you Thursday, Sim. Depending on where I'm at, I might jump on after the game and just my quick thoughts. But
no doubt.
I'll still be on with you on Thursday.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. We're up out of here. Be peaceful. One.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.